Right, so we are ready to test ride the Maeving RM1S, and the rundown on the how it works. It's very simple, but obviously there are no gears and no clutch. I'm quiet under my car. Okay, and we're off. So we're in drive mode, indicators are on, the indicators are in. It feels very, very, very light and a little bit wobbly. 45, let's not go too fast until we've got a little bit more used to this little puppy, and then at some point I'll do a walk round just to have a general thoughts, and then conclusion later on, I think, over a coffee, what looks like to be a lovely coffee house. Bonus, we're in the middle of Cornwall, and a place I know pretty well. I used to come up and down this road all the time when I was working out of Truro. Mirrors are a bit wobbly and shaky. I think you need to think about that, but there's no vibration at all, of course. Bike feels like a moped, it really does. We're up to 50. Feels like there's plenty in reserve at this speed. No idea what the handling will be like. I'm not going to push it. There's not an awful lot more power after 50. I think I'd need to go into sport mode. And this one's the link brakes. That one's the front brake. Yeah, so I think what we'll do is we'll do a circular ride. Oh. Come on. We're in sport. That's better. Battery now 83%. Controls are just as you might expect, except no clutch and no right brake, because they're link brakes on the left hand side, and that is front brake, and the brakes are pretty sharp. Seats comfortable enough for this sort of thing. I don't think you'd want to ride it long distances. Yeah, the roads are a bit damp. Sport gives you enough. I'm not going to take it up to 70, I don't think. No, you can get up to speeds on roads like this. Because the brakes are linked, you can't trail brake, but then there are no gear change to do that sort of thing with here. 50 feels like the natural cruising speed of this, and we need to slow down. Just around a 40, and brakes are more than efficient, I would say. Bar ends, not sure about these particular ones. They feel too wobbly. But I've got a reasonable view, it's just that they're shaking about. Anyway, bike incredibly narrow. It's low enough for a short ass like me. I'm 5'4", short legs, from Scotland. Thanks, Dad. And I'm fine with it. And it's really, really, really light. And it's like super, super, super light. You know. Let's head on down to Perranporth. And we're going to do a bit of a loop on this. Charged now 82%. So we're not really chewing through the juice. Indicator button is at the bottom. Link brakes. Yeah, most of the time you only need to do this brake on the left hand side. Now, keep hitting the horn button. Indicator lights are bright enough on the dash. Wow, went over a stick. Wasn't ideal. It just picks up nicely in sport mode. Ooh. And quiet too. Nothing much after 60. I think, as I said just a little while ago, 50, 55 feels like it's natural cruising speed. It doesn't help when people just suddenly stop, but the brakes very efficient. Just a little bit of a reach for me. Don't know whether they're adjustable. They're not. Yes, it's at one point could do with adjustables just to make the bike easier, but I get there so you could get some aftermarkets. The seat and it looks fantastic. It is hard as rock. suspension feels reasonably compliant. Watch this surface here, it's pretty shitty. God knows what hit me there. And I hope this is recording. We'll find somewhere for a quick stop and a walk round. What's the handling like? That's fine. And these aren't fast roads, and it is Easter time and plenty of tourists about. Yeah, you're gonna have to. I don't know whether it does regen braking or not. Going down, no sense of it, but there may be. We're down to 78. Still in sport. See if we can find eco when we get into Perranporth. It's just coming up then. So we're in eco. This puts it into tame mode, I call it. But you know, we're just under 30. Still a little bit to go. You know, so it's not completely. It's amazing, isn't it, that people just do that. So we're in Perranporth Seaside Resort, Cornwall. Easter time, so full of tourists, and they won't be looking where they're going. They certainly won't be listening out for an almost silent electric bike. See if I can find someone to take a few photos in somewhere scenic, and then I think we'll just do a loop back. This might be an ideal place to there's the site, an ideal. Love the looks of this bike. And here we are. Carbon fibre look mudguards, rear wheel hub motor, rear disc, front disc. I love the colour scheme on this. It looks so minimal. Not so sure about the exposed visor there. LED headlight, of course. Let's get a camera out and take a few pictures. An electric motorcycle. Yeah, testing it, test riding it. Yeah, test riding, yeah, they're running a test day over Maeving.
How does it work?
Electric motor in the rear wheel.
What's the top speed of it?
They say that the top speed is allegedly 70 miles an hour. I've been up to 60 on it. It feels happier at 50, 60. Yeah, that's the battery, I think. I'm not entirely sure. It does look like old school, doesn't it? And it's very light, and of course, costs pence to run.
How much does one of these set you back?
They're £7.5 grand, so they're not cheap. Yeah.
Cheap as chips. And if you've got it, paid £4 grand for a push bike.
I know. Got 80 miles of range. 80, yeah. No, it's just a test day. They're running a road show. They're doing it all around the country. It's a UK company. Yeah. But the thing I like about them is they look old school. It looks like a motorbike and not like a computer. Yeah, it's very cute. The seat is a bit hard. Here we go. Into first. Into normal. Try not to fall off it in the car park. Here we go. I think you want to be an eco really in town. It's certainly. But you see, here we are, look, typical tourist situation, cars all over the place, buses, people wandering about. But, you know, even in eco mode, this still feels sprightly. Right, let's get ourselves back. It is quiet. Chap just said that's the second one of them. Charge now 77%. The sails back. Yeah, lighting gets a bit dim in bright sunlight, but I do like the old school analogue clock. Hope they keep that and don't go completely digital. Now then. Back into sport. And sport's definitely got more fizz about it. I'll have a sit down and have a quick verdict. I'll perhaps have a chat with the people a little bit more, what they're trying to do, what their mission is, things, you know, whilst I've got them there, because they said, you know, no press bikes, they're just trying to build to order at the moment. I'll try and get a bit more info out of them, because I think this is a great enterprise, and I think the people there, Perranporth, were very impressed. Very impressed. No, seat is hard, indicators are in a funny position and the mirrors are wobbling, and then these are the only things that I can sort of ask questions of, but the rest of it is pretty much what I expect. I guess you're going to say, well, for £7,000 you can get a lot more motorbike than that, and yes, you can. On the other hand, I think over time, if you were doing a regular commute, let's say you're doing the full 40 miles each way, which is the maximum range on this, you'd soon start saving money. And I think over 2 or 3 years, if you're one of those people commuting, especially into the ULEZ zone, you would actually save money. But for the rest of us, it's just good fun. I mean, the tyres are very narrow, so there can't be huge amounts of grip. And then there's not huge amounts of power to deliver. So will I risk an overtake? Yeah, right. I'm going to overtake! Run! There you are, an overtaking manoeuvre on an electric bike. So that is entirely feasible on average roads. Yeah, so out through Perranporth. We're still in sport mode, so yes, Eco doesn't really do an awful lot above 30. Normal mode, okay, and those things, it does tail off much above, a bit above 40. So if you want to ride now, this guy, is he going to see me? Yeah, he probably hasn't. Neither seen nor heard. Back into sport, which is the best mode. Oh, some nice battery rating. We're down to 73. Don't know how many miles we did. Didn't check. And it will comfortably cruise out 60. Don't know how much more you'd have in terms of you know, hills and so forth. You're not going to be trying it on with fast motors, but it's got plenty to give you a bit of a smile on your face. It's certainly given a smile on mine. Oh, doing up to 65 now. Oops. Which is illegal, of course. Let's slow down a bit. Again, like a lot of electric vehicles, you can go in faster than you think, because there's none of that sort of engine noise feedback you get on a bike that tells you what speed you're doing without looking too closely at the speedometer. Ooh. Look at that, unsea. Right, now I do a right here. Make sure nobody's going to clatter into me. What's that person doing there? That's not ideal. It's really, really, really not an ideal place to stop. very controllable at these low speeds. Once you get used to it, no problem at all. What are they doing? Collecting something. Right. Take a nice little whiz back. It will get over 60 indicated. You're not going to do it for very long periods, because that does tank the battery, I think. 55, 60, tanking along this lovely little typical Cornish sort of road in the middle of nowhere. It's ideal. Right, coming back to base camp. I'll be pleased to see it in one piece, I'm sure, after my teetery start. Got the brakes pretty well now, I think. Oh, it's not that one, is it? No, it's this one. Next one. There's a car behind me. That's so light. Okay. Indicators are on. Side stands easily accessible. There we go. Thank you very much for your time, both of you.
Very welcome.
Trying to give my impressions on the Maeving RM1S. So it is classed as a 125, so you can ride it on a CBT. You don't need a full motorcycle license, and it goes up to 70 miles an hour. So you've got theoretically enough power to take you on to dual carriageways and motorways, but I don't really recommend it, certainly not for long distances. But plenty of power in sport mode, on normal mode, and eco mode. It's a little bit more damped down, especially on eco mode, which you would really use around town. The bike appears to be well finished. The carbon fibre in the mudguards is genuine according to the guys, and it's got LED lights. You can have a suspension upgrade, which I think is quite expensive. I'll put the price up here somewhere. And yes, it brakes very well. The brakes are linked on the left hand grip, and on the right grip is just the front brake only. It has no gear change, it has no clutch, so it is very simple to operate, almost like a scooter, but it doesn't have that slight lag which you get with scooters which are on a CVT type drive. It's very much more instant, particularly in sport mode, and on bends you can have a great time throwing it around. The tyre pattern is very old-fashioned. It's Dunlop K70s. That reminds me of the sort of bikes like Norton Commandos and so forth, which would have that type of tread pattern back along. So not really designed for high-speed cornering, although there is a lot of ground clearance. It's a fun little bike. They look good, my word. I'll try and find out some facts and figures for you to put up on screen just to sort of show you. The guys are saying they're looking at export markets, and they're building to order at the moment. So you put an order in, they build you one to your spec, which I think fits well. Obviously it's a no dealers model, which is takes away a lot of the cost of selling them, but it does mean things like these road shows are pretty much essential to get the message across and give people a chance to experience them. Servicing minimal on these, but I'll try and find out what the service interval actually is. Overall nicely finished. I love the fact that it's got an analog clock and looks like a motorcycle does. It reminded me of my 50cc Suzuki A50 small motorcycle. It has about the same sort of power, perhaps slightly more, and that was really fun to ride, but now made a lot more noise than these. These are silent, really silent. Drew a crowd at Perranporth. So there you have it. This is my first impressions on a 30-minute test ride of the Maeving RM1S. I've been Andy, or Captain Clumsy. Please like, comment and subscribe. It helps to keep the channel growing and us to deliver better content to you. All comments welcome below, particularly on this new type of transport. What do you think? Are you an old school petrol head, or are you looking forward to the future? Because I think these very much are the future. Maybe not for everybody, and maybe not now, but in the future, yes. Right, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.